Welcome to Bull TV, where we are bullish on Collierville. I'm your host, David Pickler. Bull TV is a monthly show that empowers, educates, and entertains while highlighting the citizens of Collierville who inspire and deliver solutions for a stronger community. Bull TV is presented by Pickler Companies and proudly produced by the students of Collierville High School. We invite you to watch our show at www.bulltv.show, thebullnetwork.com, and CHS TV 19. New episodes air on the second Sunday of every month at 3 p.m. Central Time. On today's show, we sit down with Jaime Munz, Center Director for the YMCA at Schilling Farms. The Y, as most people call it, is focused on providing programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. With a vision of strengthening communities, this outstanding organization is an invaluable resource for building a healthy and vibrant citizenry. Stay tuned as we discuss Jaime's role in this organization and how her leadership guides the way for Collierville's residents as they look to live a fit and well-rounded life. Today I'm joined by Jaime Munz. Jaime, a Collierville resident for over 7 years, grew up in the Chicagoland area and went to college at Florida State University, earning her degrees in multinational business and Spanish. She lived in Spain for a year and plans to retire there as well. Jaime's worked with the YMCA for over 11 years, where she started as a wellness coach and personal trainer in Wisconsin. She currently serves as Center Director at the YMCA at Schilling Farms. Prior to working at the Y, Jaime worked in sales for an international freight forwarding company and later a recruiting firm. Jaime loves to stay active and enjoys playing golf and traveling. She's been married to Steve for 20 years this year. They have 2 children, Evie, 15, and Eli, 13, and 2 retired greyhounds, Nate and Jazzy. Jaime, thank you for joining us on Bull TV.
Thank you so much.
We're glad to have you. Now, Jaime, we have kind of a little tradition on this show, and so we start off with the same first question, and that is in 3 words, who is Jaime Munz?
Yeah, that's a hard one too. I would say first and foremost, team player, go-getter, and coachable.
Okay, those are good ones. So what is your favorite part of living and working here in Collierville?
Well, it's nice being part of the community. My kids go to school here. The travel is not bad to get to and from work compared to the Chicagoland area. Mm-hmm. But it's just a really great community, very connected, and people are just happy to help from what I see.
That's great. Well, you have been a few places. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about the journey that you've been on that's taking you from Wisconsin through Chicago and Collierville. And what was that experience like for you?
You know, it was fun everywhere. Everywhere I've been, I like to embrace the cultures, the people, and, you know, keep to how I am, but also enjoy and learn more about that area. So, you know, growing up in Chicago, I then went to school in Florida knowing that I wanted to live abroad. So just wanted to see if I could get out of my shell.
So it's like Florida like living abroad?
Some ways. I mean, compared to Chicago. but yeah, it was nice. And then, yeah, the move here really wasn't much different. I mean, the weather was a lot better than Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. So. That's
great. So once you got to Collierville, how did you find yourself initially getting kind of plugged into the community?
Well, the kids help, of course. So at the school level, I did get involved in the PTA a little bit here and there and just helping out there. But I was working at the Y up in Wisconsin, teaching a class called Live Strong and doing other wellness initiatives. And so when I moved down here, I sought out the Y to see if they were offering Livestrong, which they were, and that's for cancer survivors. So it was a great 12-week program to get them back to their new normal and being able to improve their wellness.
Well, we've already kind of started that.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your career path with the Y, if you wouldn't mind.
It's crazy. I didn't think I would be doing it. So yes, I started in wellness. It was more so just to get out of the house. I was a stay-at-home mom at the time. And then when we moved down here, after a little while in wellness, my boss at the time got promoted and offered or asked me if I was interested in her job as a wellness director. So I've gone from that to membership director to operations director, and then COVID happened.
Okay.
And I was elevated into a center director role, which I'm in now. But during COVID, you either get voluntold at the Y or you just find opportunities as they come. And I got to support our Y Care programs with our virtual learning academies and other things, as well as our food program, where I had the opportunity to run production and help come up with strategies for that.
Wow. See, I mean, there's so many different elements to the Y that a lot of people are not aware of.
Yes.
And that's why I'm so excited to have you here. Now, you talked about before you became the center director that you also were a personal trainer.
Yes.
And, you know, talk to our viewers a little bit about what you believe are the importance of fitness and setting goals, especially since, as we all know, we just went past the New Year's and everybody's got their resolutions.
That's
and,
right.
You know, I know a lot of times when I show up at the gym in January, you can't find your way to a piece of equipment. Then about a month later, it begins to tail off.
Yeah, and unfortunately that does happen. It would be nice if it didn't, but to those that are regularly going, it is nice. You just wait for that to pass. Yes, and I'll need to listen to my own advice, but yes, wellness is very important. I like that you said goals. You know, when you think of resolutions, you think don't do this, don't do that, and goals are a big part of it, and what we try to do is get people to create SMART goals. So, and that goes anywhere, not just in wellness, but in anything. So you break down something that you want to achieve into something that you can measure, well, obviously specific, measurable, and the rest of the anagram there. And so that is very important. And some of that could involve not just fitness, but your mental health or sleep or anything else as well.
Wow. So when you talk about the role that you have with the Y, what would you say would be your leadership philosophy when it comes to running a YMCA branch?
Yeah, well, I think it's ever evolving too. I've learned I'm big on trust, and I think that goes a long way when my team trusts me and I trust them. And you know, empowerment is huge. So we restructured quite a bit due to COVID, and I'll keep bringing up COVID because this is so different now. But in other ways,
COVID, what is that?
I don't know, it's gone, right?
We keep hoping so, but no.
I know. So, yeah, so there were great opportunities with COVID, but other things we're still trying to navigate in our communities as well. But, you know, as far as leadership goes, I no longer have a wellness director. That's me.
Oh.
I do have a membership coordinator that does help me with membership and sales, but that's still owned by me as well. We do fortunately have an aquatics director, but so again, that leadership philosophy, empowering my team, it helps take a lot of work off of me. It also helps me identify opportunities for them and where they can grow, because I'm hopeful we will say what is COVID one day, and we can add more support to our team and grow it, and we have these individuals that are ready to take that on.
Well, you know, you talk about so many different things that have happened, so many things in our lives that have changed. And I know even people's workout habits have changed, you know, from the in-home stuff and hopefully being able to get back to the gym, because it provides so many other opportunities when you can interact with other people and whatever. You know, are you beginning to see people beginning to come back into the branch? We
are. You know, January is our big month, and it still is a little slower. We're seeing that with others, but I will tell you, it's funny, this morning, there was a gentleman that came back for the first time since, you know, we closed.
Right.
And He has health issues, so that's why he stayed away. So that was promising, but it is about the community. It's about interacting with people, and it's not. And I don't want to just say it's not about the fitness. Fitness is huge,
Sure.
but that connection you can have with others. I sat down this morning with them and had a cup of coffee with them, and had some great conversations. So.
Well, and I'm glad you point out community. It's those relationships that people build, the friendships,
Yeah.
the workout buddies and whatever. So that's incredible. So what do you think has been the greatest lesson that you have learned in your role as the director of the center?
I would just say overall in leadership is to have those hard conversations on the front end, whatever it may be. I don't know if I could give an exact example of it, but I've learned if I develop relationships with my team or others, having those conversations are a little bit easier. And don't let it fester, because then it gets bigger.
It sure does.
Yeah.
This may be one of the most obvious questions that we've already been talking about. Is talk about some of the challenges that you've faced in the role, and what have been some of the things you've been able to do to help overcome those challenges?
Well, I think a lot of it is being so lean. We do have lower numbers in our membership, but we still have, we're operating. We have over 60 group exercise classes a week at our branch. We have a pool that's running. We hiring, that's an ongoing struggle.
Really? Y'all are having problem finding people?
We are. And so those are all challenges. So I've learned, again, navigating through, asking my team for help, asking members for help. It's not a problem to ask for help, and it's really neat to see how people will step up. There's still challenges, but it wouldn't be fun if it were perfect.
Exactly. We've used the term community in a number of ways, but can you talk a little bit about what you believe is the importance of the why in the community? And maybe even, why the why has such a unique place in our community?
Yeah, it's interesting. We are a nonprofit organization. A lot of people don't know that. They think, you just come to work out or swim. We do have programs that help strengthen our community. That's our goal. Especially when that bad word came around. No, COVID. We pivoted and moved like no other. We were already doing that Live Strong program, and that's part of serving our community for cancer survivors. Our Y Care was serving our community by, providing safe child care for before and after school care at our local schools. But with COVID, right after we closed our branches, we provided essential child care. So the schools were closed and everything. So for essential workers, we were providing child care in our branches for them.
Wow.
That same weekend, conversations were had about a Shelby County Schools food employee coming down with COVID, so the operations shut down.
Oh, goodness.
We took that over. I mentioned food operations before. So we took that over, where that has evolved into bulk meals that we're serving out of our centers every Saturday. Well, 4 of them right now, and mine included. And we started that end of June of last year through December, and 22,000 meals were served at Schilling Farms Y alone. So,
I think most people would have no idea that was going on.
Exactly. We don't brag. We don't like to brag, so yeah.
Wow, goodness gracious. Talk to me a little bit about the opportunities that there are for others to grow in their careers or in their leadership through their association with the Y.
Right, so we do have a lot of entry-level positions, which is great because we're teaching and showing new employees how to navigate the workforce and all of that. But like I mentioned before, we did restructure quite a bit. So I'm hopeful as we continue to grow, we'll need a wellness director or a coordinator. So if someone's really into wellness, there's that opportunity. We have our own internal leadership academy. So we do have, a lot of times it's full-time employees. I have a part-time employee right now that is doing it, and we have our open conversations with him on what his interests are to see where we can position him and give him the tools, and I've given him projects so that he's ready to take that on if and when that opportunity happens.
So tell me a little more about this Internal Leadership Academy. That sounds so that's for your employees.
Correct.
And really in terms of developing their skill set to really advance in their career through the Y?
Yes, and it's a mentor type program too. It's evolved. I took it, oh goodness, back in 2015, I think. And it's evolved, so we do have speakers come in from the community. It makes me think of Leadership Collierville in some ways.
Exactly.
But you learn the ways of the Y more so, but others in the community, we learn about fundraising, what that means, getting the community support to drive the programs that give back to the community.
Wow, that's incredible. You know, I know that part of the Y's mission, one thing that's really unique about them, is to create programs that really are all about building healthy spirits, minds, and bodies. And we all know that the Y is a great place to get physically fit. But talk a little bit more about this idea of the spirit and the mind and how that really fits into your philosophy.
Yes, it's again, just like wellness, it's a piece of the puzzle. You know, fitness of course is important, but you know, your mental health, your spirit, your emotion, something greater than yourself. So that's part of our, again, giving back to the community. I can't not talk about the Y and not mention that we're a Christian organization.
Sure.
You know, we are who we are. Not everybody is Christian in our organization, but we don't hide who we are and what our beliefs and principles are, but everyone is welcome.
That's fantastic. That's correct. You know, and I definitely, when I was thinking about this conversation today, yeah, that was really something that kept resonating, was the idea it's not just the body, it's the spirit, it's the mind, and that there is this faith-based tradition that really is at the core of it all. And again, I think that's part of what makes what you do so special.
Yeah, well, and what's really great, I'm bad at going to church, I'll say that. My husband's very good, and he'll say, come on, let's go. And I said, we just had a huge meeting. Will led us in prayer again, or we have a chaplain at our location. He'll come in and ask me what I'm struggling with, and he just speaks to my heart. And having that at work is just wonderful. Yeah.
That's great. So let's take a step back, kind of to the early days of the YMCA here at Schilling Farms. We know funds were raised and land was donated to build in Collierville, mainly due to a lot of the local businesses in the community that wanted a YMCA here.
Right.
Talk with me through, if you can, a little bit through the evolution of this Y. Tell me a little more about the journey that we've been on as it went from just a gym to really a partner in our community.
Right. I wasn't here well, I shouldn't say way back then. It's a little over 20 years, but I'm
Way
older
back.
than that. Yeah, way back when. But I do know, you know, it was really to create the building, to provide for the community, a wellness center, a pool, and we did have some programs that, you know, we've always scholarship swim lessons. We don't turn anyone away for before and after school care. We do scholarship that as well. Or financial assistance.
Right.
But it's evolved over the past couple of years. You know, I've mentioned the food program. Our before and after school care program has grown. That program also provides meals to kids in that program. And then we also have a safety around water drowning prevention program.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and what we were working through, and most of our summer camp kids were able to take that program when they were in camp because it is land-based and water-based. But in 2019, we took it to a whole second grade group at one of the elementary schools, and we did the land-based program and let them have a pass to come use our pool after they so-called graduated or had that certificate for it. And that wasn't able to be done without the help of someone in our community that gave the funds to support that and sponsor it.
Yeah, that's incredible. A lot of people don't realize how many pools there are in Collierville. And as wonderful as they are, you know, you've got to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep people safe and just learning how to swim. I remember personally when I was growing up in the Whitehaven area that I had my first swimming lessons at the YMCA.
Oh, great.
And that was on Elvis Presley Boulevard. I remember that very, very well. So, you know, to talk about that, you know, for some people, that is really what they think of the Y. They think of the gym and swim. And, but as we talked about, it supports the community in so many different programs. Any of the programs we haven't talked about yet that you'd like to talk about, and really how they really benefit the Collierville community?
Yeah, the next one, we're evolving this one too. We started Y on the Fly. So actually a community partner here in Collierville helped us with, I think it was 2 of the vans. Oh goodness, I shouldn't say this because I can't remember. I think they were Mercedes. And we outfitted it so we could take safety around water to areas that couldn't access it, to teach kids what not to do if they see a friend in the pool, how to do reach assist, have it more interactive as opposed to don't go in the water. So, you know, what to do if you get in a situation. So that was more outside of our walls, and we can take it out there. Some people, Tasha, who's in Leadership Collierville, she's leading me in that right now. I showed her in our group part of Y on the Fly. Of course, what sticks out to everyone is our smoothie bike machine. So it's a neat thing where you pedal and there's a blender and you make smoothies. But,
oh my gosh.
So that's part of the
That's
STEM.
motivation.
Yeah, it is. And it was fun watching adults get on that. But it's, we had some STEM type activities. The biggest pivot that Y on the Fly is now trying to do is do book drives to bring books out to underserved areas. You know, from what I can remember, the statistics on this is a low-income community or lower-income community, there's 1 book per 300 kids.
Yes.
For a middle-income community, it's 13 books per 1 child.
Right.
So getting that out there, and Collierville does have areas like that, which we do forget.
No, you are so right. One of the things that's most important is helping kids learn to love books, learn to read. You know, it's really all about that, developing that literacy, certainly at least by the 3rd grade. And so thank you for that, because you are right. There is definitely, there are areas of drought in terms of with books. And you know, we don't want to have a book desert out there. We want to do that. So, wow, that's amazing. So how can Colliervillians get involved with the Y? How can they give back to the Y? And are there ways for them to donate or volunteer?
Most definitely. Volunteering, what comes directly to mind is on Saturdays from 9 to 12 in our parking lot. We have the food that we're loading into school-age kids' cars. Well, they're not driving them, but in their cars. And it is fun. We do have a church that is now meeting in our building again. It's Trinity Church, and so once a month they are helping support that. So that's a volunteer opportunity. And I am constantly looking for other volunteer opportunities as well that would be fun and easy, but kids can also help with doing this as well. As far as, you know, the financial, we need the finances. I mean, you can't do it without the finances. I'm in the midst of our annual campaign right now, and for Collierville, our goal is to raise $86,000 this year. They're welcome to contact me. I'd love to, you know, discuss further where their dollars go and how it stays in our community. You know, we have raised more in the past, but we give typically double what we raise in scholarship.
Wow, that's incredible. So what would you say, Jamie, would be the most rewarding part of your job?
You know, it's really, I think my calling is serving others. I learned that in wellness when I was doing personal training, definitely Live Strong, that was rewarding. And it's really just, you know, be it with my team, helping them grow, me learning from them, but, you know, our members as well, just whatever I can do to serve, that's what I really enjoy.
That's great. Well, I know we mentioned earlier that you have lived here in Collierville for the past 7 years. Is there a single Colliervillian that you would say that's made the greatest impact on your life over that past 7 years?
Well, we have a lot of great people in our community. You know, I wouldn't say directly to me, but how he impacted my daughter recently. You know, David Townsend comes to mind. Our daughter is a swimmer, and COVID, again, you know, rerouted those things. The pool shut down. That was hard. I had a pool and a key to get her in, but we couldn't have her swim because everything was shut down. But she got into cross country, and that was something that, you know, she stayed healthy and active and kept her training in that way. But she wasn't at David's school. But at the end of that season, David got all the schools together and had them compete in this one race. And he would do practices with them. And what I thought was just really cool is he's a busy guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's
No
busy.
question.
He's got his family. I respect that because I remember when I've coached basketball and soccer, and there's a sacrifice, especially when your kid isn't in that sport. So he doing that, for our daughter and the other kids, and it just made a real impact.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you to David and for being there for your family and certainly for your daughter. That's incredible. Jamie, we are filming inside of this amazing Collierville High School building. And what message would you like to send to the students here at Collierville High School, or for that matter, any children in any child in Collierville that watches this show? What would be the message that you would like to send to them when it comes to the area of leadership?
I would say take opportunities as they come. Being uncomfortable is good. I hate it. I get nervous now, but you're growing, and that's how you learn. And when you take opportunities, you either learn a skill, you make a mistake, and you learn from that. So taking risks for that, or you may be exposed to other leadership that see potential in you, and that gives you other opportunities.
Fantastic. You're a young lady. But when years from now, when you reflect back on your career, what would you hope would be your legacy?
Well, of course, the canned response is leave it better than how I found it. I think it was found better than where I'm leaving it right now. I'm huge on teamwork. I'm huge on either, with the team in the building, in our community. There's ways to collaborate with other organizations. I've had opportunities to work with the Collierville Literacy Council and push things forward there. So I think I would like to leave that type of culture. We don't need to be siloed. We can all work together. Everyone has an opportunity to support the other and just do better. Absolutely.
I mean, we are so much stronger together. And it really is. Well, Jamie, I want to thank you. I mean, this time has flown by.
It has.
But thanks for coming on Bull TV. For most importantly, for sharing your story. The work that you're doing at the YMCA. It has created a fantastic opportunity for our town's youth and adults. And the way that you have chosen to guide this organization through these challenges is really, I think, is a testament to your passion for fitness and your love for our community. And not only just fitness, but again, that whole idea of mind, body, spirit. And so it's been an honor, an incredible honor to have you as our guest here on Bull TV. And I look forward to seeing how you and how the Collierville Y continues to grow as we go forward.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
The legendary Indian yoga master, B.K.S. Iyengar, once said that health is a state of complete harmony of the body, mind, and spirit. Mahatma Gandhi expanded this thought when he stated that a balanced intellect presupposes a harmonious growth of body, mind, and soul. Now, each of these great men understood that true health can only occur when we nurture, preserve, and develop our whole person, mind, body, and soul. Or, as Henry David Thoreau added, every man is the builder of a temple called his body. Organizations such as the YMCA are uniquely equipped to empower people to pursue their physical, intellectual, and spiritual potential, or to use a popular phrase, to become the best versions of themselves. What does it take to fulfill your mind, body, and soul? To develop and preserve a healthy mind, I believe that you need to keep your brain constantly stimulated and exercised. You must pursue those strategies to keep stress and worry at bay by focusing on positive thoughts, gratitude, and joy. And you must also develop a true thirst for knowledge and commit to the pursuit of lifelong learning. To build and maintain a healthy body and lead a life that is free of disease, illness and pain, we must embrace healthy diets, good nutrition, and regular exercise. We must also seek to maintain active lifestyles and a daily discipline of movement and physical exertion. While developing a healthy mind and body are essential ingredients, they fall short of achieving that whole person without the indispensable element of the healthy spirit. The first step to fulfilling a healthy spirit is to become centered in everything we do, to understand that we are simply one part of something much bigger. We are part of a community in which we live, yes, but also a community of man. To be full participants in these communities in which we live, we must embrace our responsibilities to give and to share. But in order to truly have that healthy spirit, we must also open our hearts and souls to love. To love another is incredible, but to love our community and to love our friends and neighbors, to love our community of man and woman, is to know true joy. I am so very grateful for people like Jaime Munz, who have dedicated their lives to empowering others to seek the harmonious growth of mind, body, and soul. We can all learn from these aspirational thoughts and attitudes. Consider resolving to see the good that exists in virtually all of us. Resolve to be the best version of yourself and open yourself to the power of the possible. By embracing the opportunity to love, to give, and to share, we open ourselves to lives of limitless possibilities. And that is my 2 cents. Until next time, I'm your host, David Pickler. Thank you for watching Bull TV, where together we deliver solutions for a stronger community.